Across the country and around the world, across the street and around the corner, this is Over the Culture. This is Over the Culture podcast, where you get to hear my spin on things I like music, sports entertainment, movies, TV shows, and your mom. You also get to hear about things I don't like double standards. And I'm your bastard of ceremonies, the one gig kid, Pat Stay Black, Alex Black, Reefer Sutherland, Luke Fly Talker, the most interesting blurred in podcasting, the troller of trolls, the prince of petty, Steve G. And this is Over the Culture. So I know that our society raises the boys to be gentlemen, to hold doors, to be courteous, to walk on the street side of the sidewalk when he's courting a woman. He's supposed to pay the bill. He's supposed to pay for the meal. And the lady is supposed to just be, okay, what do we do next? And at the same time, the lady is told to not have sex on the first date. And have we ever considered, what about the guy? What if he goes on a string of endless first dates, and he's just paying for meals? He's coming out of pocket, footing the bill for these chaste women who are just wanting to take it slow and take their time. Meanwhile, they're eating up all these breadsticks and free ass food that you got them, knowing they not gonna fuck your ass. With your courteous gentleman ass, no pussy getting ass. And just like she was told that she shouldn't be giving up sex on the first date, hey bro, how about you stop giving up money on the first date? How about we split the bill? Normalize splitting bills, ladies and gentlemen. What about that, society? Cancel culture? How about we cancel the guy footing the bill for every fucking thing on dates? How about that? How about we normalize, I pay for what I eat, yo chastity belt wearing ass pays for everything that you eat. And then we go from there. If you really like me, how about we do some free shit, huh? How about we hold hands and do all that little romantic ass shit you see on these motherfucking Meg Ryan movies? How about we do all that shit for free fucking 99, huh? How about we can take a walk in the goddamn park, huh? Wanna go to the petting zoo? That's free 99. Wanna look at some dogs? Let's go to the dog park. Oh, they're cute, huh? I bet your pussy's cute. I'm guilty. And you know what? I'll say it. I've been a simp. I've been simping my ass off down here in Atlanta, taking these women out on these fucking dates, paying for the fucking food, holding doors and shit because I don't know. I was raised right. You're so nice. You're such a gentleman. It's just so sweet. Just please don't stop being sweet. Hey, stop pump faking niggas. That's not sweet. That's not cute. And I get it. You're not obligated to give a man sex. You're not obligated to give a man nothing. It's your pussy. It's your mouth. It's your whatever. These are your holes. But at the same time, this is my wallet. This is my money that I work for. You didn't give it to me. Your mama didn't give it to me. Your daddy didn't give it to me. This is my money. And I don't know about spending my money on your food. I just met you. I don't even know you. I gotta get to know you before I start reaching for my wallet for you. So, I should have had that conversation with myself. I've had that conversation with myself before. And me just being head over heels with these women. Oh my God, I don't mind. I think she really likes me. She's the one. Well, my dumb ass. My fucking dumbass. Shame on you, Steve. Shame on you. Because these women are just hee-heeing and kikiing and laughing at your jokes and just making you feel like you're goddamn Steve Martin. Eating up these appetizers, these entrees, knowing they just gonna go back home and keep swiping right on the next man. And you're just over there like, yeah, she likes me. Yeah. Dumbass. Steve, you fucking do better. Do fucking better. And I bring all this up to say, hey, decriminalize prostitution, because I feel like I've already been tricking. If I'm gonna be tricking, I might as well get something out of it. Fuck a kiss on the cheek. Fucking kiss on my nuts. Did I just say that? Yeah. Oh well. So I've been in my bag on this 80s bag, and I was watching some Coming to America. I've been watching some Beverly Hills Cop, and man, I gotta say, there's no better era than Eddie Murphy in the 80s. No other comedian can beat that. That is the pinnacle. Eddie was king in the 80s. You put his face on it, it's gonna sell. You put his name on it, it's gonna sell. Delirious, Raw, Trading Places, Beverly Hills Cop 1, 2, Coming to America, Golden Child. 48 hours. Another 48 hours. Eddie was the man in the 80s. There was nothing he can do. And I'll take this Kevin Hart era, Cat Williams, take Dane Cook, any comedian who was like at the pinnacle, at the peak. Jerry Seinfeld, Martin Lawrence, Chris Rock, it doesn't matter. None of them were fucking with Eddie Murphy in the 80s, man. Jeez, such a good time to be alive. So yeah, man, I was watching Beverly Hills Cop, and he just took the show, man. Like, we were so used to the black character in this predominantly white cast. The black character is usually the sidekick, the tag-along, the comedic relief who's just shucking and jiving, tap dancing. Eddie Murphy changed that dynamic. He was the king. He was the star of the show, and everybody else was the sidekick. Everybody else was the tag-along. He made that the norm. Eddie Murphy walked so Kevin Hart could run. He made this possible for the Martin Lawrences, the Chris Rocks, for them to be the focal point of the movie. It's about their narrative. What are they going to do to get over their obstacles? There's a lot of great Eddie Murphy. A lot of great Eddie Murphy on HBO Max, man. Between that and Netflix. And it, like I said, it just takes me back to a good time. Now, music-wise, this past Friday, Alchemist releases another project called This Thing of Ours. And it's only 20 minutes, 46 seconds. There's only 8 songs. And the first 4 songs are songs with lyrics. It starts off with Nobles featuring Earl Sweatshirt and Navy Blue, followed by TV Dinners featuring Boldy James and Sideshow, Holy Hell featuring Pink Sifu and Maxo, and Loose Change featuring Earl Sweatshirt. And then the last 4 are the same songs without the lyrics. Nobles instrumental, TV Dinners instrumental, Holy Hell instrumental, and Loose Change instrumental. And it's very melodic. It sounds like a score off of a film student movie. Something from, I don't know, a Spike Lee or I guess you could say even a Woody Allen, like a New York kind of film. And it's great, man. I like the instrumentals just as much as I like the ones with the lyrics, because I mean the beats, I feel like I can do things, I can do chores, I can write to these songs, to these instrumentals. And Earl Sweatshirt, he's used twice in this, and he's one of my favorite out of the Odd Future gang. He's a lot of people's favorite, but I'm a Tyler guy. And Boldy James is also featured in This Thing of Ours. And you know, if you're an Alchemist fan, if you're a fan of Earl Sweatshirt or Boldy James, please check it out, man. Alchemist, he's been doing this thing where he'll have songs halfway into his project, and then he'll have some instrumentals. I remember he did that in his last project, and he's just a great producer, man. He's been in the game for ever, going back to his Mobb Deep days. And also DJ Khaled's album. Oh man, Khaled. and it's 53 minutes 49 seconds. It's 14 songs. It's called Khaled, and one of the things that stood out was the track by Cardi B, Big Paper, because Cardi is going the fuck off, and whoever ghost wrote that shit, man, kudos and mazel to you, because man, she, like I said, man, she's on a tear. It's called Big Paper, and I like that one. I like We Going Crazy featuring her and Migos, and you know, Drake's even on there. He has a song called Pop Star, Let It Go, with featuring Justin Bieber and 21 Savage. And the one that stole the show, though, is Sorry Not Sorry. That's what everyone is talking about, everyone and their mama, and it's featuring Nas, Jay-Z, and Jameson. Or James Fauntleroy. So please check out that Khaled, and check out This Thing of Ours. I mean, it's not too often that Nas and Jay-Z link up, but when they do, the world explodes and reverses on its axis beforehand. Now, some big things happened on May 2nd, one of them being the Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Manny Pacquiao fight that happened in 2015. And it was a lot of fanfare. Actually, a lot of celebrities were in attendance that night. Justin Bieber was among Mayweather's entourage, while Pacquiao was joined by comedian Jimmy Kimmel, who had discussed the possibility of entering with him when Pacquiao appeared on his talk show. And Kimmel wore an outfit parodying Bieber's wardrobe from a pre-fight press conference and photobombed a pre-fight photo taken by Pacquiao. Other figures in attendance included Steffi Graf, Andre Agassi, Beyonce, Jay-Z, Charles Barkley, Mike Tyson, Clint Eastwood, Robert De Niro, Denzel Washington, Michael J. Fox, Donald Trump, Jake Gyllenhaal, Amir Khan, Drew Barrymore, Jesse Jackson, Russell Westbrook, Mark Wahlberg, Lewis Hamilton, Leonardo DiCaprio, Don Cheadle, Michael Jordan, Sugar Ray Leonard, Paris Hilton, Nicki Minaj, Meek Mill, Ben Affleck, the Jonas Brothers, Michael Keaton, Tom Brady, Magic Johnson, Christian Bale, Bradley Cooper, Evander Holyfield, Mariah Carey, Sting, 50 Cent, and many others. Man, everybody and their mama were glued to their seats watching this. Oh, and the Star Spangled Banner was performed by Jamie Foxx. The Filipino national anthem, Lupang Hinarang, was performed by Filipino-American singer Gail Banawi. I don't even know. Joined by the World Chorale, a choir of Filipino pastors. Okay, sure. But man, you know, they came back with big bags, and ultimately Mayweather Jr. Won by unanimous decision. Overall, the match was underwhelming. It didn't meet fans' expectations. You know, there were no knockouts, no KOs, none of that. As we all know, Mayweather has garnered a reputation of being the master of avoiding hits. And there was a lot of moving. There was a lot of moving and jukes. Also on May 2nd, the movie Iron Man premieres in theaters, in American theaters, and it made about $500 million. I want to say it was about 500 and something million. And you know, I remember that being a big deal because it was the first of the Marvel franchise, and you know, it basically kicked in the door and made it possible for the other ones to follow. The Doctor Stranges, the Spider-Mans, the Incredible Hulk, Thor, Avengers, all of that fly shit, Captain America, Black Panther, and Iron Man was the first. And initially, they didn't want Robert Downey Jr. to be Iron Man, to be Tony Stark, because of his reputation at this point. He was a cokehead. He was in and out of rehab, and, you know, the man loved playing with his nose. But obviously, they did give him the role, and he took that motherfucker and ran with it. This movie also features Terrence Howard, man. Oh, man, they gonna have me in a movie in May, man. Iron Man. Oh, man, why you coming out in May, man? May 2nd, man? But he would be replaced by Don Cheadle anyway. Yeah, apparently they were going to offer him a 50 to 80% pay cut for Iron Man 2. and it's still unclear whether or not he declined the role or Marvel withdrew their offer. But Don Cheadle, we all love him just as much, probably more, because Don Cheadle's not tied to any domestic violence cases. But yeah, man, Iron Man, the original, came out on May 2nd, 2008. But more importantly, to me at least, more importantly, on May 2nd, 1997, Austin Powers, International Man of Mystery, premiered in theaters. And I'm a Mike Myers fan. I talk a lot about Jim Carrey, Chris Farley, and even Martin Lawrence being like physical comedy gods. But man, not enough is said about Mike Myers. And, you know, as far as playing multiple characters, Martin was the king of that. Eddie Murphy's the king of that. But Mike Myers, man, he deserves a seat at that table too. That's a difficult task, I feel, to portray different characters within the same production, and Mike Myers does that heavily throughout this franchise. But Austin Powers, International Man of Mystery, premiered May 2nd, 1997, and I'm going to go in detail, in depth about that movie here later. Today in sports history, in 1968, the 22nd NBA championship is decided. Boston Celtics beat the LA Lakers 4-2. In 1978, the NFL draft is held. Earl Campbell from the University of Texas is the first pick by the Houston Oilers. In 1988, Reds manager Pete Rose is suspended for 30 days for pushing an umpire. In 1999, John Elway announces his retirement from the NFL. And in 2015, Floyd Mayweather Jr. beats Manny Pacquiao on points in 12 rounds in a world welterweight unification fight, shatters all financial records for a boxing match. And that was my half-assed sports report. Coming up, we're going to go over the film Austin Powers, International Man of Mystery, as it premiered on this day in 1997. We'll be back after these messages. Today's birthdays for May 2nd. Happy 31st birthday to American basketball player PG-13, Paul George. Turning 36 today is American race car driver Kyle Busch. Happy 44th birthday to American actress and singer Jenna Von Oy. Happy 46th birthday to English footballer, coach, and model David Beckham. Happy 49th birthday to American-Canadian wrestler, actor, producer, and the most electrifying man in all of sports entertainment, Dwayne Johnson. If you smell what the Rock is cooking. Turning 66 today is Italian fashion designer Donatella Versace. And turning 68 today is American basketball player, NBA champ, and Hall of Famer Jamal Wilkes. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. You know what that means, right? You pay nothing. It's free 99. It's a free app that you put on your phone, and it lets you go from there. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iTunes, many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Check out Anchor.
Rolling down I-75. I'm all about my pockets, trick, call me Papadopoulos. I'm on my way to Magic City, flying to Metropolis. On top of this, I'm talking shit, blowing on some chocolate. Your flow just be the opposite, so watch how I demolish this. Build it up and polish it, acknowledge all my knowledge. The word around town is that my mind is like a hollow tip. Hottest shit, beyond this shit. I don't know it's how it gets when trails get blazed. Them younger niggas wanna follow it. L's get blazed like old heads wanna politic. Talk about life and getting raised up in in the mix. Don't let me take you back to 86 when I was taking baby shits. Now we make your lady stiff, all up in the brain. It's the sand times, finest hitter, elevate the game.
I can't remember, the same as obsolete in late December, but it's the middle of June and my mood is mighty sinister. I got a couple loaded tricks on my sleeve, that's if I play them right. Houston tomorrow, San Diego the next night. Gotta get some rest in the cut, let's get my stress sliced. Like a $6 large, I'm in charge casually in just fire. Got my dome together, and I'm on whatever. West Toledo, Moby Steeple, yeah, we roll together. Winter, spring, or fall, got the East and beat 'em all. Homeboys, yeah, this is folk music, where's Peter, Paul, and Mary, quite contrary. Gotta get an eagle on, ain't no point in saying I'm the shit, I only pee in Johns. Hopefully on a flight, back and forth to Shangri-La. The 6-a-lot, they got the la-la spots and the badass hoes, designer clothes who rock Adidas.
Traveling, Bancroft, focus, fostering a haircut, square cut, paint a picture, let it airbrush. Head of them on me, reflect eternally like Quali. Known to move a crowd of fly females than alcoholics who wanna call me on it, like they appalled about it. I drop a record in the streets, they wanna talk about it. Light up they whole face, rip up your Facebook. You step in my space and get your butt whooped. I'm in these Great Lakes, giving off a massive appeal, making crowds put their hands up like a tornado drill. Just cause my flow is ill, could use an Advil. I'm rhyming mad libs, now put your hands
now I'm
up.
the captain of the ship, I'm the chain without the bar. Stupid is what stupid does, but I guess stupid gets you far.
And a special mention to those no longer with us. Lorenzo Music was an American actor, producer, and writer. Born Gerald David Lorenzo Music on May 2nd, 1937 in Brooklyn, New York, he was best known as the original voice of Jim Davis's comic strip character Garfield. Music began his career as a writer and a regular performer on the Smothers Brothers Comedy Hour. He co-created the sitcom The Bob Newhart Show and composed its theme music with his wife Henrietta. He also wrote episodes for The Mary Tyler Moore Show and Rhoda. On Rhoda, Music would also get his major voiceover role when he played the unseen but often heard Carlton the Doorman. In the 1980s, he voiced Garfield on 12 animated specials, and later in cartoons, video games, and commercials. Music's distinctive voice of Garfield is still often used in animated specials in his legacy. Music died from complications related to lung and bone cancer on August 4, 2001. He was 64. He was cremated and his ashes were scattered at sea. Rest in peace. On this day in 1997, Austin Powers premiered in theaters. Austin Powers, International Man of Mystery, is a 1997 American spy comedy film directed by Jay Roach. It is the first installment in the Austin Powers series. It stars franchise co-producer and writer Mike Myers, playing the roles of Austin Powers and Dr. Evil, Powers' archenemy. Supporting roles are played by Elizabeth Hurley, Robert Wagner, Seth Green, and Michael York. The film is a parody of the James Bond films, especially Diamonds Are Forever, and the other pop culture from the 1960s. The film, which cost $16.5 million, opened on May 2, 1997, grossing $53 million from its North American release and over $67 million worldwide. The film spawned two sequels, Austin Powers: The Spy Who Shagged Me in 1999 and Austin Powers: Goldmember in 2002. In the years following Austin Powers and Goldmember, Myers has discussed the possibility of a fourth film. In 1967, British spy Austin Powers thwarts an assassination attempt by his nemesis Dr. Evil in a London nightclub. Dr. Evil escapes to space in a rocket and cryogenically freezes himself. Powers volunteers to be placed in cryostasis in case Dr. Evil returns in the future. 30 years later, Dr. Evil returns to discover his henchman, Number 2, has developed Verticon, the legitimate front of Evil's empire, into a multi-billion-dollar enterprise. Uninterested in business, Dr. Evil conspires to steal nuclear weapons and hold the world hostage for $1 million. He increases his demand to $100 billion. When he learns that the value of the dollar has fallen due to inflation, Dr. Evil also learns that during his absence, his associates have artificially created his son, Scott Evil, using his frozen semen. Now a Generation X teenager, Scott is resentful of his father's absence and resists his attempts to get closer to him. Having learned of Dr. Evil's return, the British Ministry of Defense unfreezes Powers, sending him to the 1990s with the help of Agent Vanessa Kensington, the daughter of 1960s sidekick Mrs. Kensington. Posing as a married couple, Powers and Kensington track number 2 to Las Vegas and meet his Italian secretary, a lot of vagina. Powers infiltrates Vagina's penthouse suite and discovers Dr. Evil's plans to drill a nuclear warhead into the Earth's core and trigger volcanic eruptions worldwide. Vagina discovers Powers and seduces him to learn his identity. Dr. Evil and his entourage conspires to defeat Powers by creating a series of fembots, beautiful female androids equipped with guns concealed in their breasts. Powers and Kensington infiltrate the Verticon headquarters but are apprehended by Dr. Evil's henchmen, Random Task. Meanwhile, the United Nations accede to the demands of Dr. Evil, who proceeds with his plan nonetheless. Powers and Kensington escape Dr. Evil's death trap, and Kensington is sent for help. While searching for Dr. Evil, Powers is confronted by the fembots. Powers seduces them with a striptease that makes them explode. British forces raid the underground lair while Power deactivates the Doomsday device. Powers confronts Dr. Evil, but Vagina arrives holding Kensington hostage. They are interrupted by number 2, who attempts to betray Dr. Evil by making a deal with Powers. Dr. Evil uses a trapdoor to eliminate number 2, then activates the base's self-destruct mechanism and escapes. Powers and Kensington flee as a nuclear explosion destroys the lair. Powers and Kensington marry. During their honeymoon, Powers is attacked by Random Task. Powers subdues him by using a penis pump, allowing Kensington to knock him out. The newlyweds adjourn to the balcony. Among the stars, Power spots the cryogenic chamber of Dr. Evil, who vows revenge. Hope you caught up with that. Mike Myers created the character of Austin Powers for the faux 1960s rock band Ming T that Myers started with Matthew Sweet and Susanna Hoffs, following his Saturday Night Live stint in the early 1990s. Myers said that the movie and the character were inspired by the British films, music and comedy of the 1960s and 70s his father had introduced him to as a child. After my dad died in 1991, I was taking stock of his influence on me as a person and his influence on me with comedy in general. So Austin Powers was a tribute to my father, who introduced me to James Bond, Peter Sellers, the Beatles, the Goodies, Peter Crook, Peter Cook, Dudley Moore. Dana Carvey felt that Myers copied Carvey's impression of Lorne Michaels for the Dr. Evil character. Myers sought Jim Carrey to play Dr. Evil, as his initial plan was not to play multiple characters in the series. Carrey was interested in the part but had to turn the role down due to scheduling conflicts with Liar Liar. Since the 1960s had a big influence on his childhood, Myers cast Robert Wagner and Michael York, 2 household names from the late 1960s, in key supporting roles. The popularity of the film revived both Wagner's and York's careers. Myers has referred to Wagner as the coolest guy I know, and York as the classiest guy I know. Rhea Perlman was in talks to play Frau Farbacina, but had scheduling conflicts. She has always regretted turning the movie down. Myers estimated that 30 to 40% of the film was improvised. Filming locations included Riviera Hotel and Casino and Stardust Resort and Casino on the Las Vegas Strip. The movie debuted at number 2 at the box office with $9.5 million. Time Out New York critic Andrew Johnson observed, "The film's greatest asset is its gentle tone, rejecting the smug cynicism of Naked Gun-style parodies. It never loses the earnest naivety of the psychedelic era." Thank you, Austin Powers. Happy 24th anniversary. So that wraps up another edition of Over the Culture Podcast. Please make sure you check out my other show, Happened in the 90s, every Thursday with my buddy Matt G, as well as our sister show, Crushgasm, every Wednesday with his wife Kendra. Happy Dwayne Johnson Day, y'all. Be cool. Peace.